Well, we'll be focusing on our row crops and our livestock markets today, but we'll also be looking at some other markets that we trade. For example, copper. That's a headline story, and we'll have that for you throughout the morning. The palm oil market. We'll talk about that. Clean energy markets. We'll talk Bitcoin. We've got, let's see, the 10-year notes and 4-month bills, an auction yesterday on that. We'll talk about that. And we'll throw some cotton, apparel, and tariff news in for you. But first, the corn market. Let's start there. We're up in trading and the December contract, 414 and a quarter. It's a penny and a quarter higher, but look at that September. It's still below the $4 level. Flash sale of corn overnight. USDA says 110,000 metric tons, unknown destinations. Over to the beans. Notice that $9.92. It's not just below $10. It's down near $9.90 on that September. November is new crop at $10.04. It's down 3 1/4 cents. Let's touch on soy meal and soy oil as we start the trading day. Lower for the meal. Oil, for the most part, is lower, though that July contract is creeping a little higher. Wheat market, Chicago, September most active, 552 and a half, up 5 1/2. Hard red, up 7. 531, and the cotton market, December is trading 11 higher, 67.89. All right, we've got a report coming out tomorrow. Tommy Grisafi is with Nesvick Trading. Okay, will you be watching that?
Of course, I'll be watching it with a front row seat, my friend. And I do respect the reports. A lot of people think nothing's going to happen, but that's just when something happens on a Friday afternoon. On a summer day, people are heading out to the lake. Maybe we get a little something exciting. At this point, I don't care if it's bearish or bullish. I just want the markets to move, and that will create another action. So if the markets move, people will have to adjust things. The markets, when you look at the grain markets now, I had the chance to drive up to North Dakota yesterday, and I was listening to you guys on air, and it was like you were quoting the same price over and over, and then you were getting excited that if September corn could trade above 4, that would be great. I mean, we're almost making excitement up, but we were excited that corn was up 1 or 2. But the grains have a bearish slant, but we are getting into an area that's value where we could see some good exports. We could see some buyers come in, some end users get some things secured. And I have to tell you, Tony, from driving from Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then entering into North Dakota, everything is green and beautiful as you could see. So the crop tour from the vehicle, it just everything looked healthy. I'm sure there's someone out there who has a problem. They had hail, too much rain. You could email, you could text us, you could do whatever you want. But overall, the crop did not get, like a drought of 88. Like this is, sure, we have flooding, we have a little excess rain, but that doesn't ruin crops. It just ruins crops in most spots. So overall, crop health, from my point of view, looks amazing, Tony.
Yeah, and again, I think you hit it on the head. We're almost having to make up excitement. It's like getting excited, the kids at the table getting real excited about having spinach. Look at this. How exciting is this, by the way?
Tony, when I sat in for you last week, corn did have an up 13, and the following day had an up 8, and that was all based on something that never happened. So if you end up buying on the headlines, you end up selling papers, right? And we gapped open lower on Sunday on the favorable weather and no big announcement. And love them or hate them, Trump's moving the markets. Copper had its largest move in history the other day, and it happened in 5 minutes. So you have to be careful here, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, hang on. We don't have to make up anything at all when it comes to livestock markets. They're on fire. We'll talk more about that. Market Day Report continues in a moment. So about 30 minutes ago, we mentioned there's some early cash trade. The asking prices, it was very light trade in the south and in the north. I had the south at 225 and some isolated sales 235 in the north. The asking price, however, $230 in the south, $240 in the north, and this comes as packers are back in the black, making a little money for the first time in quite a while. Now, live cattle futures are all higher across the board. We'll see if August hits that 222 range today. We're at 221.22, $1.45 higher, 219s on October and December, 218 on February. The April starts the day at 217, nearly 218. Feeder cattle, 407 higher, 324.55. We're just going to keep knocking out all-time highs here, I guess, on that August contract. If these gains were to hang on, we'd be looking at, what, $15 gains over 4 days? September up 387 at 323.90. And the hog market is higher as well, at least on the front 3 months. August up a quarter, 107.47. Let's go back to North Dakota. He's on the road. Tommy Grisafi, Nesvick Trading. Livestock markets are hot?
Yeah, the headlines as I was driving yesterday just came out one by one. First of all, about 3:30 Central Time, 4:30 Eastern, Trump administration announced a 50% tariff on Brazil. We are importing a ton of beef from Brazil and countries like Australia. If that was to happen, I know it's like where they start negotiating and work their way down. It'd be very detrimental to a lot of the hamburger industry for sure. Folks like Burger King and others import a ton of cuts of meats from Brazil. So on break, I just checked the price of McDonald's and the price of Wendy's, both publicly traded companies, and they're up on the day. So the headline was big, 50% tariff on Brazil, but looking at the hamburger companies, they're digesting it well, as we may say. The next headline came out from the USDA saying that they're shutting the border. We lasted a matter of hours, 48, 72 hours that the border was open. It's now closed to Mexico. We had only brought in maybe 2,000 cattle from Mexico, from the best, from my sources. So it wasn't like it was a real deal changer. It was just maybe a little pressure getting relieved that we could import cattle again. But saying screwworm is going to be something we talk about for a while. So no shortage on a market that closed. We do not have to make up anything about cattle. Cattle closed on the highs yesterday, gapped open today, and feeders are up 4 and lives are up 170. So big dynamic move in the meats, Tony.
Tommy Grisafi, Nesvick Trading, here on Market Day Report.